Chapter 1.1 covers three terms: points, lines, and planes. These three terms are undefined. We don't have a formal definition for them, but we do define them through examples and pictures. A point is a location. It has neither shape nor size. We know it usually as a dot, and we can give it a name, which could be a capital letter. And the notation that we use when we're talking about it is point A. A line is made up of an infinite number of points. And it doesn't have a thickness or a width. It goes on infinitely in both directions. The thing to remember is that through any 2 points, there is exactly one line. So let's put 3 points on this line, and we'll name them P, Q, and R. We'll also call it line M with a script M. And our notation, we can pick any 2 of those points, or let's say we pick PQ, and our notation would be this symbol above it. So I could pick QR or RQ, or I could pick PR, but it would have the same symbol above it. And that's necessary when we're describing that line or writing down an answer for that line. Since it also has a script M here, we can call it line M. Collinear means that the points all lie on the same line. Non-collinear, the points do not all lie on the same line. A plane is a flat surface, such as your piece of paper, or a tabletop, or the floor. It extends infinitely in all directions. And the thing to remember how we define a plane is that through any 3 non-collinear points, there is exactly one plane. So let's draw an example here. Let's put points B, C, and D, and we'll put a script capital K there. We can call this plane K. Oops, that didn't come out very clear. Or we could pick 3 non-collinear points, plane B, C, D, and those are the 2 ways that if you were asked to name a plane or write down what plane you're looking at, you could write it either way. Coplanar, points all lie in the same plane. And non-coplanar, the points do not all lie in the same plane. One thing to note and remember is that through any line, there's an infinite number of planes. So looking at this picture, I want you to name a line containing point K. We could name the line A, or JK, or JL, or KL. Question B says a plane containing point I. I could call it plane B because of this right here. Or I could use 3 non-collinear letters, non-collinear points, so I could call it plane JKM, or I could call it plane LKM. But can I call it plane JKL? No, because they are collinear, so I cannot call it that. What would I call a geometric shape modeled by a button on the table? I would call it a point. The ceiling of your classroom. It's a plane, and that ceiling plane would extend outside of the classroom as far as it can in all directions. A beam from a laser would be a line. 2 lines intersect in a point. Two planes intersect in a line. There's going to be times when I'm going to ask you to draw and label a figure and give you a bunch of relationships. Just start, figure out how they go, just read across and continue to draw is the easiest way to do it. So I can draw any shape for a plane, and I'll name it plane R. It contains lines A, B, and DE, which intersect at point P. So I'm going to draw 2 lines that intersect. They're going to intersect here at point P. I'll name this one AB and this one DE. Add point C on the plane so that it's not collinear with AB or DE. So there's point C. Now you could have a slightly different picture. You can put your label R up here in this corner. You could put your point B on either side of P, but your picture should look somewhat similar to this. We're going to draw a QR on the coordinate plane, where this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. And points come with the y-coordinate listed first and with the x-coordinate listed first and the y-coordinate listed second. So our first point is -2, 4. -2 and 1. So this is point Q. And R, which is 4, -4. And we'll draw a line through those 2 points. And we want to add point T so it's collinear with those 2 points, so we'd add T anywhere on the line. Looking at this drawing, how many planes appear in this figure? There are two. There's plane S, which is the blue flat area. And then looking at the points D, B, A, and C, they all form another plane. So I could call it plane BAC or plane DAC. Name 3 points that are collinear. That would be D, B, and A. Are points A, B, C, and D coplanar? Yes, they are. We discussed that in part A. So this is yes. And it's because point D lies on AB, which is part of plane BAC. Name the intersection of plane ABC with plane S. Remember, a plane and two planes always intersect in a line, so it would be line BC. The last question asks, at what point do DA and CA intersect? And that would be point A. And that concludes lesson 1-1.